She wasn't born in Hollywood. She wasn't born with a silver spoon. She was born in chaos. Cracks in the walls. Roaches on the floor. Stomachs growling louder than lullabies. And still, she rose. Viola Davis didn't chase fame. She ran from pain. From hunger. From rats. From the cold that froze her bones, and the silence that haunted her nights. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a war story. She didn't get lucky. She got back up. Again. And again. So ask yourself. How does a girl from nothing become one of the most powerful voices in Hollywood? Here's how. Viola Davis was born in a place no one talks about. St. Matthews, South Carolina. August 11, 1965. The fifth child out of 6. Her mom worked as a maid and a factory worker. Her dad trained horses. And battled his demons with a bottle. There was no red carpet. Just red dirt. And broken dreams. They moved to Central Falls, Rhode Island, hoping for better. They got worse. A crumbling building. No heat. No food. No peace. Winters meant sleeping in jackets. Sometimes boots. Sometimes crying herself to sleep while rats crawled across the floor. Real rats. Not a metaphor. Not a memory exaggerated for effect. She could hear them at night. Scratching. Clawing. Feasting on whatever little they had. That was home. She'd go to school in shoes that didn't fit. Wearing the same clothes for days. Sometimes, smelling like urine. Because there wasn't always water. She got bullied. For being poor. For being black. For being different. She didn't fight back with fists. She fought back with silence. And imagination. She started acting before she knew what acting was. Pretending. Escaping. Becoming anything other than herself. She discovered theater in high school. And something shifted. The lights came on. The world faded. And for the first time, she felt seen. She wasn't just a poor black girl anymore. She was a queen. A warrior. A survivor with a voice. But survival doesn't stop when you find your gift. The war gets louder. She auditioned for Juilliard. And she got in. But she still didn't feel like she belonged. Surrounded by wealth. Confidence. Opportunity. She walked in with scars. She performed with fire. Viola didn't act from technique. She acted from pain. From hunger. From real-life heartbreaks that no script could capture. But the industry didn't care. They gave her scraps. The maid. The nurse. The background extra. She was told she wasn't pretty enough. Not light enough. Not soft enough. Too strong. Too emotional. Too real. But real was all she had. So she gave it. Every role. Every scene. She brought her full truth. Even when it broke her. Years passed. And then. Doubt. Just one scene. A single moment. But she unleashed everything. Tears. Silence. A lifetime of grief in just a few breaths. She didn't just act. She detonated. The world watched. Stunned. Shaken. And suddenly. They saw her. Then came the help. Then how to get away with murder. Then fences. She went from forgotten to feared. From overlooked to unstoppable. She didn't change herself to fit Hollywood. She forced Hollywood to change around her. Her skin tone. Unapologetically hers. Her story. Raw and sacred. She became the first black woman to win the Triple Crown of acting. An Emmy. An Oscar. A Tony. Not for playing nice. Not for fitting in. But for ripping the truth out of every performance like a weapon. She gave pain a voice. She gave struggle a stage. She gave every broken girl a mirror. Because behind the glamour, she was still that little girl. The one who slept hungry. The one who heard rats in the walls. The one who cried into darkness and begged for light. She carried that girl with her. Every audition. Every speech. Every time she stepped in front of a camera. And that girl? She never gave up. She couldn't. Because if she did, no one would know what was possible. And now, Viola Davis isn't just a legend. She's a blueprint. For the wounded. For the silenced. For the invisible. She's proof that broken doesn't mean beaten. That scars can become armor. That survival can turn into art. So when you see her on screen, don't just see the fame. See the fire. See the fight. See the hunger that never fully left her. And ask yourself, what's stopping you? Not money. Not pain. Not fear. Viola had them all. And still, she rose. Not overnight. Not easily. But fully. She rose with rage. With grace. With purpose. So if you're walking through your own darkness, if you're hungry, tired, forgotten, remember her story. She was born in the shadows. She became the light. Because sometimes, your pain is the very thing that will carry you home. And sometimes, the girl who slept hungry becomes the woman the world stands for. Not because they chose her. Not because she fit the mold. Not because the door was wide open. No. She kicked it open. With every scar. With every rejection. With every part of her soul that the world tried to bury. Viola Davis didn't wait for permission. She created her own space. She brought her whole self. And she dared them to look away. She wasn't polished. She wasn't manufactured. She was real. Too real to ignore. They didn't choose her. She chose herself. And that made all the difference. Because when you come from nothing, you don't walk into rooms hoping to be liked. You walk in knowing you've earned your place. With every sleepless night. Every missed meal. Every silent scream you swallowed just to survive. You become the storm. Not the victim of it. You don't need permission to rise. You never did. You just need the courage to begin. Right where you are. With what you have. Even if all you have is the fire still flickering in your chest. That's enough. Be your own fire. Let it burn through every doubt. Every voice that told you you're not enough. Every memory that tried to convince you to settle. Because your flame, it was never meant to stay small. Be your own voice. Speak your truth. Even if it trembles. Even if no one claps. Even if your voice shakes the first time you use it. Say what you needed to hear when you were younger. Say it out loud. Say it for the ones still trapped in silence. You don't need approval to be powerful. You don't need applause to be worthy. You just need to speak. Even if the world isn't ready. Be your own rescue. Because no one's coming. Not the way you imagined. Not the way you hoped. But that's okay. Because everything you needed was already inside you. You just had to remember. The power. The rage. The grace. The strength. The love. It's been yours all along. Viola Davis didn't wait for the world to change. She changed herself. She faced her fear. She stood in the ashes of everything that hurt her. And she chose to rise anyway. Because if she didn't, who would have told her story? Who would have reminded us that pain can be a weapon? Not just a wound. She used her past, not to hide, but to ignite. So don't waste yours. Don't bury it. Don't be ashamed of it. Your pain has value. Your story has power. Your survival is not a weakness, it's a badge. Wear it. Own it. Live it. Because if Viola Davis can survive that childhood, with the hunger, the shame, the silence, the cruelty, if she can crawl out of that darkness, stand tall in the spotlight, and look the world in the eye, then walk into Hollywood, not asking, but claiming what was always hers, then so can you. Maybe not in the same way. Maybe not with awards or stages. But with your truth. With your courage. With your refusal to be erased. You have the right to rise. The right to speak. The right to take up space. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose yourself. So start today. Start scared. Start scarred. Start late. Start small. Just start. The world doesn't need another perfect person. It needs someone real. Someone like you. Because you, with all your broken pieces, you're still whole. You're still worthy. You're still here. And that means you still have a chance to become what you were always meant to be. So let them doubt you. Let them overlook you. Let them misjudge your fire. They did it to her too. And look how that turned out. So stand up. Speak out. Walk in like you own it. Because maybe you do. And if the world won't give you a seat at the table, build your own. Light it on fire. And show them how it's done. Viola Davis didn't just survive. She transformed. She became legend. Not in spite of her pain. Because of it. And you can too. Disclaimer. This video is based on publicly available information, interviews, and biographical sources. It is intended for inspirational and educational purposes only. We do not claim ownership of any footage or images used and give full credit to the respective owners. If any content used in this video belongs to you and you wish it to be removed or credited differently, please contact us directly.